Tigers baseball is presented by Figer Law. Just short of first pitch time, as you can see. Underneath, what's that thing called, Andy Dirk?
Carouseling ball, I think.
Okay.
I've played here. I've been here many times. I've never noticed that.
The carouseling ball?
The carouseling ball thing.
Yeah, with time constraints right underneath it. It's 50 degrees. It feels like Bon Air.
I am sweating right now. I'm in a tank top and shorts.
And it's only 90% possible that that's not true. Colt Keith leads it off for the Tigers. Batting order presented by your Southeast Michigan Ford dealers. This is Career versus Bailey Ober, who is list price $6'9", $260. Riley Green 6 for 18. Zach McKinstry 7 for 18. Some success for the Tigers left-handers, especially 10 earned runs in 11 innings against the Tigers, but it's a different arm slot now, Andy.
Yeah, he's dropped it down about 5 degrees. Last year was a little rough for Bailey and off to not the best start of his big league career. Velo's down a little bit, Jason. Changeup's still pretty good. The spin hasn't been effective for him. Get the fastball up and hit it. Lay off the changeup down, and you'll be all right as a lefty.
I mean, he had a marvelous season in 2023. A 3.43 ERA, 26 starts, 125 hits, and 144 and a third. But since then, he has not been the same pitcher, and the Tigers have seen him quite a bit, trying to pick up a win in this series as the first pitch is outside for ball number 1. We're underway at 6:41 Central Time, 7:41 Eastern, as we thank you once again for joining us from here at Target Field.
There's that changeup. That looks like a pretty decent pitch. No challenge. You like the early challenge.
Well, both teams have, certainly, as Colt powers this ball to right field, but it should be playable for Wallner, and he makes the catch on the pull side for out number 1. Pretty similar defense to yesterday for Minnesota.
Yeah, just Martin in left instead of Larnick, and you got Buxton, Wallner, and then Lewis, Lee, Keyshaw, Carantini, and Jeffers. Everything's the same except for Austin Martin in left.
Yeah, Byron Buxton ran down a couple of balls yesterday. You go, man, if that weren't the 4th fastest guy in baseball by sprint speed, maybe those are extra bases.
Yeah, that's what I told him. I said, just don't hit it to him. There's real guys like that around the league. You're like, you know, if you hit it in that vicinity, the probability of a hit goes down when you got a guy like Buxton in center field. Covers a ton of ground.
1-1 to Kevin McGonigal. And he will swing and loop this ball into left field. Martin on the run, and he angles over to make the catch for out number 2.
Both hitters a little out in front of it. He was just out in front of that curveball, popped it up to left. Colt just caught his on the end of the bat on the changeup. So they're going to have to get their slow-moving eyes on today.
How do you do that?
You let the ball travel. It's where you want to hit it. Like, you got to look to hit it the other way, which makes you see it a little bit longer. Because as you know very well, there's way more hits up on the handle than there is on the end of the bat. The ball on the end of the bat, there are very few hits on the end of the bat. A lot of weak pop-ups, a lot of weak ground balls.
Like that.
Yep. But if you get jammed a little bit, it seems to keep that trajectory a little more line drivey, and you get more hits.
Well, you have more control, at least directionally.
Absolutely.
Closer to the hands. That's a ball, 1-2. Both teams have been pretty quick on the trigger finger of challenges in this series. We were in a game that had no challenges left pretty quickly earlier in the series, as that's a ball as well. It's 2-2 on Gleyber Torres, who has 12 walks to 10 strikeouts this year, including 3 walks in this series already. And he serves this ball behind second base. That is Keyshaw snaring the final out. 3 in the air. And a 1-2-3 inning. Fromber's next. remarkably consistent first 2 starts as a Tiger for the Wallside Windows starting pitcher tonight, Framber Valdez.
Yeah, you laid the storyline out perfectly a little bit ago, that the Minnesota Twins don't hit a lot of ground balls. Framber gets a lot. So who's going to win the battle? Are the Twins going to get the ball up in the air more, or is Framber going to make them keep it on the ground?
Well, the answer to Byron Buxton is a base hit. He has launched his season since joining the 1 spot in the order on Monday.
He loves first pitch fastballs. And no matter how many times guys think, oh yeah, he's not going to hit it this time. Gets those hands inside of the sinker. That's a pretty good job. Get under it, don't pound it into the ground from Buxton.
Now you have Martin, who's one of the most likely guys, at least so far this year in the order, to hit the ball on the ground.
Yeah, he hits a lot of ground balls on the pull side, on the sinker.
We got a challenge here.
The batter is challenging the call of strike.
It's our ABS challenge system powered by T-Mobile, and it is a strike.
The call's
Okay.
confirmed. The pitch was a strike. Minnesota has 1 challenge remaining.
See, that's one of those in the clubhouse.
You're going to get
People
wore
are gonna
out
be
about.
like,
Oh,
hey.
you're going to get wore out on that one.
And now he gets hit by the pitch. He's going to go to first. Martin at first, Buxton at second. 2 on, 3 pitches in. 1 was challenged, and 1 ended up in left field, and 1 hit a guy. So Keyshaw is going to bat. And here's the batting order for Minnesota. Strikeout percentage against the curveball. We showed you Framber likes to use that for strike 3. He leads the majors since 2025 in strikeouts on the curve. Keyshaw, 0%. 0 strikeouts against the curveball in his career.
No way.
Yeah, short career.
Well,
49 games last year.
But that's still plenty of at-bats for somebody to get you on a curveball.
Yeah, 60 total games now.
He does have good discipline, good plate control. We've seen that, you know, even when he first came up, he always pretty much swings at strikes.
Doesn't swing and miss much at all.
Nope. Finds himself 0-2 here, though. Maybe this will be the first time in his career the curveball gets him. This could be it.
It's a curveball, ground ball to shortstop. It's Baez to second for 1, and that's all they'll get. Relay from McKinstry was not nearly in time.
No, they called Martin safe at second.
Oh, they did say he's safe.
Yeah, they said safe at
Martin
second.
is safe at second base. McKinstry thought he had gotten the runner at second, and yeah, he was in there.
Yeah, nice job by Martin. Getting a big lead over at first, getting off the ball quickly.
It's a slightly delayed call at second base, so they're loaded now, and here is strike 1 to Jeffers. Close play.
Yeah, a softly hit ground ball. No, he's in there.
Yeah, he is. Now this one bounces away. Here comes Buxton, and this is an inauspicious start for the Tigers.
You don't see a lot of balls get away from Dingler. It kicked off of his shin guard, it looked like. Off the knee. By the time he gets over, he elects to underhand it, and Buxton's way too fast.
Well read by Buxton, certainly. So 1-0 Minnesota. 2 on, nobody out.
Takes a double play out of order and puts Valdez in a much larger jam than he was currently in. Needs a punch out here, Jason.
Yeah, needs a punch out, and then the infield maybe comes in. We'll see on Caratini if you were to get the strikeout. But first, the 1-2 is in the dirt. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 3-2. And Bailey Ober, who again has sort of been all over the place early this year, gets staked to some run support early, which you would imagine would help with the confidence. 3-2. He reached out to ground it to third. That's McGonigal, and his throw is on time. One more in. Martin scores. It is 2-0 Minnesota with one out in the first. Here is the Tigers defense today. Green, Vierling, Carpenter, McGonigal, Baez, McKinstry, and Colt Keith over at first. Dylan Dingler catches. Our Marygrove Awnings starting defense for the Tigers. Tough start here today.
Yeah, it's an awkward start too. You know, very first pitch of the game, Buxton hits a line drive. Then you have a challenge on the very next pitch. Feels like Valdez just got to get his groove, get into a rhythm. There were so many like breaks early in this game.
But you still got to pitch through him, pitch over him.
No, and good job by the Twins.
Yep.
Jumping on the first pitch heater, take the hit by pitch.
AJ Hinch said it earlier today. He said, you know, in April, there's certainly some small sample size and some things you do well that you get unlucky on, but then there are other things that you just have to clean up. So don't be lulled into a false sense of April security, paraphrasing here, but don't be lulled into a false sense of security. If there are things to be fixed, go fix them.
Yeah, right away. You don't want to carry this into May. You know, you want to stay in the division standings to a very reasonable degree early on in the season, because if you get too far back, it gets very tough to make a run.
I mean, Minnesota has lived that in recent memory as a franchise, where they've struggled early, as Valdez almost hit Caratini. I mean, Minnesota last year finished 70-92, and they were pretty much up the track early. 5-6 for Minnesota. The Guardians are 8-5 after their 10-2 win over the Royals earlier today. Orioles just swept the White Sox, who dropped to 4-8. That 3-1 is inside, ball 4.
Valdez definitely is fighting his command a little bit early on in this ball game. We've seen him pretty much be pinpoint with that sinker and curveball. Looks like he can't quite find the curveball, Jason. He spiked a few. That's one of his best out pitches.
Yeah, and we've seen, actually, this has been the series of pitchers not having reliable secondary stuff.
That's it. Yeah. Mize with the split goes off. Squibble's changeup got hit a little bit. And we talk about tweaks and different things, and you know these guys, as soon as they see something or feel something, they go to work on it. But you do have to correct it.
Minnesota is really the poster team for early randomness last year. They were 13-20. First 33 games, they were 13-20. They then won 13 consecutive games to get to 26-20, and then fell out of the race anyway.
Yeah.
That's not to say the early games don't matter, because you can build a big lead. The Tigers did it last year, and they needed every win they piled up to make the postseason. That is looped over, shortstop into left field. It's a base hit. They're going to wave around Keyshaw. Throw coming to the plate is not in time. Ramon Borrego, the third base coach, was very aggressive on arrival at third, and the Twins make it 3-love.
AJ says play through. He gets the changeup down in the zone. Bell just drops the head of the bat on it and hits it off the end of the bat. Kind of a no man's land, and you see Riley come up. He's got a real shot at him. Keyshaw can run a little bit, though.
Yep.
Keyshaw outran the bad decision there. See how hard he came into home plate? It was a great throw, though.
It was on target.
On target. Everything you needed. Keyshaw was just fast.
If not for Buxton, he would be at least by numbers, the fastest guy on this team, as this is down the right field line and foul. Boy, that had to be foul for the Tigers to maintain contact early.
And you know, you wonder how much confidence the Twins, from getting some hits against Skubal, beating him, can roll into a game like today. You know, if they can get some hits off Skubal, you feel like you can get a hit off anybody, I would imagine. I mean, he's one of the toughest guys to hit in all of baseball.
Wallner's going to try that right field line again. This one's fair. 2-strike hit again. The Twins loaded up on him last night. And Matt Wallner makes it 4-0 Minnesota in the first. This was thoroughly unexpected.
Yeah, Framber's just struggling with his curveball right now. That's an 0-2 pitch there, and you see how it just kind of hangs up on him. And Wallner just drops the head of the bat to it again. And kind of a shocking situation here, Jason.
Totally.
Just to come out and kind of, Twins just coming right after him. Hitting the ball all over the yard.
I mean, the Tigers came out of the chute out of spring training feeling great at 2-0 in San Diego, rolling through 2 games, get swept in Arizona, win 2 in a row against the Cardinals, and now a 3-game losing streak. It has been a roller coaster start to this season, certainly for this team, as that's foul and it's 2 strikes on Lewis. Again, you don't want to overreact, but you also don't want to go down 4-0 with Framber Valdez on the mound in Minnesota.
No. And they are a team that can hit the ball in the air, so their strength plays against his strength. Framber's strength's getting the ground balls, their strength's hitting the ball in the air, and you've seen kind of a lot of hits in the middle. We call those line drives. Not on the ground, not in the air. But there's still a lot of ball game to play.
That is going to make it harder. Lewis has a 2-strike hit. Bell is home. Wallner's home. It's 6-0. This is a blitzkrieg from Minnesota.
It's like Framber's just trying to figure out what's going on here. He throws his sinker. Should get a ground ball. Does, but it's up the middle. Anytime the infield's drawn in, it does make it much more difficult for a ground ball pitcher. There goes the runner.
Lewis to second base. He is safe.
Doing what they please currently.
That's right.
The Tigers need to change this momentum in a hurry. Somebody needs to make a play. Get that momentum, because now they're playing free and easy. Perfect throw. He just beat it.
And he anchored himself to the bag with that back foot. To shortstop, Baez. Out number 2. Lee grounds out, and here's Byron Buxton again. I mean, the Twins have hit around in this first inning.
And you see Lewis just going right in front of Javi's face, just taking third. Like, they don't even care right now. They're just like, we're going to do whatever we want until you stop us.
It's like the kid who walks around like he owns the school.
They are right now. You know, they done took your milk.
Another first pitch swing. Here is Baez, who loads up the final out. But man, oh man, Minnesota assaults Framber Valdez's stuff 6 times to the dish. Minnesota in the first.
If the Tigers score 3 or more runs in this game, you can visit a participating Arby's location tomorrow and receive a free small order of curly fries.
You don't want to have 2 orders of curly fries after the first inning to tie it.
That's not ideal, Jason. It is not. Kind of a shock to the system right there after the Twins scored 6 runs off Framber in their opening frame. And now the Tigers have a lot of work to do. And the only thing you do here, you go back to quality at bats, up and down the order. Got to string them together.
We have Bailey Ober, who has so far this year given up 6 earned runs in 8 innings of work. That's a 6.75 ERA, but some of that comes in getting behind in counts and pitching in close games or whatever it might be. Now, with a 6-0 cushion, there's some leeway.
He's got the green light. Just throw strikes. Bailey Ober's job.
He used to be very much more over the top, and he's trying to figure out the whole velocity component and just his mechanics in general. This year, his velocity on that 4-seamer is down to 89.
Yeah, he used to be kind of a north-south pitcher. That fastball at the top rail and then the changeup down. That was like his bread and butter. But as the velos went down, guys are getting to that high fastball. So he's dropping his arm angle down a little bit to try to work a little more 2-seam action, get some more ground balls.
Tried the changeup inside. He missed. Ball 4 to Kerry Carpenter.
You want to drive a manager nuts, Jason? Have your team score 6 and come out and walk the leadoff guy.
Which one of your managers historically would have dealt with that worst?
I don't know if I had a manager that would deal with it better than another. I don't know if there's a manager on the planet that would like that.
Carpenter at first. You know, you start a season.
Throw it down the middle.
Yeah.
Right? And it's easier said than done. Of course, he's not trying to walk the guy. But there is that intent of like, let me get right after him here.
You start a season, and there's all this hope in a baseball year. And then suddenly you watch something happen that you go, why did that happen? And you wonder if anything's going to go normally in that pocket of time where you're just losing 3 games in a row, whatever it might be. Then you give up 6 runs and you get a leadoff walk in the 2nd inning, and you look and you go, you know what? I have no idea what's going to happen.
There's
any
hope.
given night. In this
Plenty of hope. This game could end up 14-10.
Might could. 2-1.
Well, at this pace too, I mean, the Twins aren't exactly feeling real good about the bullpen situation. They've used a ton of bullpen pitchers recently, and Bailey Ober, they need some innings out of this guy.
Yeah, he's 3-1 on Riley Green here. And Riley hits this ball in the air for right center field. Byron Buxton makes the catch, and we get a message from Figer Law.
At Figer Law, every case is personal to us, and we won't stop until we bring home the win. Figer Law, all we do is win.
One down, Dylan Dingler in this 2nd inning. Good to see Dylan back in there after being hit by the pitch yesterday that kind of crawled up his arm into his other arm.
The hand bone, finger.
Ground ball to 3rd. That is Lewis going to the ground, and Royce Lewis from the deck trying to do something with it and couldn't. So it's an infield single for Dingler. It's kind of the old breakdancing play at 3rd.
He got stuck on his back. Makes the play, but by the time he gets over on his hindquarters, I can't get up. I can't. Yeah, too late. Here, you take it. No, you don't want it? Yeah, nice job stopping the ball. Once he lost the handle on it, he knew he had no shot.
Here's Vierling, and he looks at a curveball for a strike. It was sort of the overturned turtle routine at 3rd. You know the feeling.
I can't get up. If you ever see me laying flat on my back, just leave me.
Oh, don't worry. We all would. 2 strikes on Vierling. Hey, I saw Dirks at the ballpark today. What was he doing? Flailing.
Flailing my arms and legs.
Carpenter at 2nd, Dingler at 1st. 2 strikes on Vierling. All right, so with Bailey Ober's new arm angle and arsenal, etc., how are you attacking this?
I mean, you just get something up and hit it far. I mean, this is a guy you can let it loose a little bit with. With 2 strikes, you know, a guy like Vierling, he's trying to throw that little sweeper away. You can still think right center field and still get to the heater. That'll keep you on the sweeper. But he's not going to blow you away with the heater unless you're really waiting on something off speed or spin. See him out in front on that one.
And he flicks it to left center. It's Buxton again. He's underneath. He makes the catch. There are 2 away.
So far, most of the outs have been out in front off the end, little pop-ups, right? So the adjustment for that is where we got to think, where am I going to hit the baseball? If you're left-handed, look to hit the ball further to left field if you've been out in front. If you're right-handed, hit it to right field. That'll let the ball travel a little bit. You'll see it a little bit longer, keep you from getting out in front, get more into that line drive swing. Because compared to last night, I mean, this looks slow to the hitter. Because the guy in the last night was 98.
And we know the Tigers are, as they prep for a guy, they're seeing that type of stuff. But it still takes an adjustment in game, you're saying?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's warm, and their bodies are all of a sudden firing quicker.
I might dispute warm, but it's warmer.
Compared to that first game, this is hot. It was cold that first game here. It's like 19 degrees with a wind chill.
At first pitch at 6:40 on Monday. 2-0. McKinstry takes a strike. Tigers will play tomorrow at 12:40 Central, 1:40 Eastern time in the series finale. It's a swing and miss on a slider.
So this slider just stayed up. Look, it doesn't have a lot of depth to it. And McKinstry picks up the spin right about there, but see how it just kind of stays up, Benetti? It doesn't come down into the barrel.
Two pulled foul.
And that's probably why Jeffers didn't go back to the slider, because usually when a guy swings at it, it means he saw the spin. And if that ball did what it was supposed to, he probably would have hit it pretty hard. But because it stayed up, he swung under it. The old cement mixer, it just sits there and spins.
Two and two. That's another pop-up. Caratini makes a catch. Tigers are set down here in the second.
Tarek Skubal told me today that 2 things stand out to him about his new teammate, Framber Valdez. One of them being his strength and his stature. Didn't expect him to be as big as he is. And the second one, and perhaps the more important one for today, is his demeanor, his ability to control the emotional roller coaster that baseball is. You can't tell what his emotions are on the mound. And after a first inning like we saw, we're going to see if Framber can live up to that today, guys.
It's a big test, certainly, because number one, now you're trying to save your bullpen. And number two, you're trying to keep it there, so if the offense does tune it up second time through against Bailey Ober, you got a shot at this thing.
Yeah, 6 runs is not out of the question this early in the game, for sure. So Framber just got to go back out, start getting some ground balls, see if he can get some early contact on some of these hitters to keep his pitch count low. He needs a couple quick ones here.
Yeah, 32 pitches with nobody out in the second. Right at third. McGonigal. One gone. So here is Keyshaw, who just 2 years ago was playing in the Futures game as part of this Twins organization for a Minnesota group that changed managers after last year. Also front office upheaval as well, with Derek Falvey out. Rocco Baldelli relieved of his duties. Great guy. And Derek Shelton takes over after his time with the Pittsburgh Pirates, and this felt like something of a rebuild, but the pitching for Minnesota has been really good so far for the most part. Taj Bradley yesterday looked like a total revelation for them.
Yeah, he did a really nice job. And he had both his split and curveball working very well, which makes that a very tough task when a guy's throwing as hard as he is. And we've seen kind of the opposite for the Tigers pitching staff in this series so far. The secondary pitches just haven't really been landing where they want them.
Baez through 2 batters. That's what you're looking for. Certainly 2 gone. Giveaways at Comerica Park are back. Next giveaway this season, Saturday, April the 11th. Tigers and the Marlins. Be one of the first through the gates and get a Tigers hockey jersey presented by Miller Lite. Giveaway you don't want to miss. First pitch 1:10 p.m. against the Fish. Visit tigers.com/giveaways for more information. That's a young Marlins team that has had a pretty good start to the year. They're 6-5. They are leading Cincinnati tonight 6-2. We showed you yesterday. Sandy Alcantara was fantastic yesterday, 8 1/3. As this to right field leads to a slide, and Kerry Carpenter was unable to secure it on the fly, so it's a hit for Jeffers. Ball was touched.
Yeah, about fooled Kerry. He thought he maybe had a shot at it. It was hit hard enough. Kept it in front though.
There's Caratini. Strike 1 for that Marlins team. There's always a Conine on the Marlins. Griffin Conine is 2 for 2 today with 2 driven in.
You save money if you don't have to replace the name on the back of the jersey.
Yeah, you just keep the stitching.
Yeah, so just draft guys that the same name as the players you currently have. Last name.
That's why they do it. Not nostalgia or talent. Just sewing costs. The only problem with that is they did change the jerseys quite dramatically from when Jeff was playing with those teal, sort of Jim Leland, Jack McKeon, Marlins, Billy the Marlin jerseys. Now they're throwbacks. It's like when you turn on an oldies station and Train is on. You go, what has happened? That's downstairs, 2-2.
That make you feel a certain way?
Yeah, elderly.
My favorite band is now in the oldies category. Oh, I remember when I went to a concert a couple years ago, it felt like.
Hi, Jerry. Geriatric. Nice to meet you. 2-2 on Caratini. Jeffers at first, 2 out.
Just can't quite get the swing and miss on that curveball, can he? Just up a little bit, little location. He hasn't really stolen a pitch. Too many strikes with it. His first 2 outings, he used that to do a lot of damage.
Ground ball at second. Z-Mac. Inning over. To the third we go.
Look at Benetti's keys to the game. Bet 365. Slow your roll. I'm here for a good time. I think what Benetti means by that is with Bailey overs on the bump after facing Taj Bradley, who threw 98. You got to slow down in the box. You see the Tigers. They have 6 pop outs so far. That means they're out in front. Also, we're here for a good time. Like, have some fun. It looks like some of these guys are pressed a little bit nervous at times, trying to do too much. When the expectation, Jason, continues to grow, you approach seasons in different ways. And let's face it, the Tigers have a big expectation this year.
Yeah, it was one of the best teams in Major League Baseball in the first half last year. For a while, the best team in Major League Baseball. Second half was not nearly as kind. The baseball was not nearly as clean. They make the playoffs. They go to the division series. They're a game away from the CS. And now you look, and the Tigers are 4-7. Seattle just lost today. They're 4-9 to open the year, and their offense has started slowly as well, as that's just to our right. But that is what happens when you build to back-to-back years in the postseason.
Yep.
If you're a fan, you should expect going to the postseason again, as that's to shortstop, and Lee makes the catch for out number 1. Here's what A.J. Hinch said earlier on this topic.
In April, you know, you can certainly overreact to a lot of things as the competition gets stronger. You can also underreact if you just chalk it up to just April. So I think it's a fine line in coaching to address the things that create success and create wins.
Yeah, that's the bind you're in when you start slowly. As Colt calls for time, that real quick before we talk about what AJ said, that was another one of those pitches that is a borderline pitch, and Colt goes to his helmet and touches his helmet just as a tick. That's what he does. He knows he does it. But if you watch, it looks very much like a challenge signal. Watch.
I thought he was going to challenge because it was borderline, but he's just and he was like, oh, don't touch my head.
So we talked about it with him, and he, for a second, just did like the mime of standing in and then stepping out, and he just wanted to feel what he does, you know, sort of just without thinking. And it is, he reaches for his helmet. The problem with that is Major League Baseball sent out a memo to the media, to teams, and one of the things they said about the challenge system is umpires should not accept simply verbal challenges. So it has to come with the hand motion. So the umpires are looking for that hand motion. And you know, it's not been an issue because evidently I think batters are saying challenge as they hit their head.
Mm-hmm.
But if we get to a spot where the verbal goes away, that's going to be a thing.
Well, you think in a big spot where the crowd's extremely loud, it gets a lot harder to hear what's going on.
2-2. Wave and a miss. Strike 3. It's a sweeper, and it's the first strikeout of the ball game for either pitcher.
Ober is just lulling the Tigers to sleep with spinning breaking balls and slow changeups. And you see they just continue to be out in front of it. And it's an adjustment they're going to have to make potentially sooner than later when they got 6 runs.
Yeah,
you got to make up for.
You detailed McGonigal's adjustments from last night, from Monday. What would you do if you were a left-hander against Bailey Ober, just adjustment-wise?
I would be looking soft, and I would be trying to look to hit the ball the other way, and that'd probably get me a little more on time with it, and I'd probably end up pulling it. And I'd try to pull the off-speed stuff down the right field line, and if he does throw a heater, you hit a screamer down the left field line. Play the line-to-line game with him.
So just for the uninitiated, how does that work where if you feel like you're trying to hit it the other way, you might pull it anyway?
Yeah, because it's more of a timing thing. It's making you not get out in front, slow down a little bit. You start just a little bit later, and then trust that your hands are quick enough to catch up with the 88-mile-an-hour fastball, which most of these guys' hands are plenty quick enough for that. Gives you just more variety of ways to get hits. You try to hit this guy to the big part of the field, and you're going to end up hitting off the end of the bat quite a little bit, as we've seen so far.
It's a pull side foul ball. It's 3-2 on Kevin.
I would go as far, depending on the pitcher, I would try to hit balls foul sometimes down the left field line.
Really?
Absolutely. And that would get me more on time if I'm way out in front of it. But you see that changeup, it's just slow and they're having trouble waiting on it. Because if that breaking ball or the changeup's up, you can still take him up top on those two. I would just probably say, you know what, with the fastball.
Kevin floats this into left. Martin lays out and he hauls it in. He stuck the landing too.
Great play by Martin. Coming in hard on the baseball, making a dive and play. His legs have done some work today.
Nothing's landing on the grass so far for the Tigers. Join us here on Detroit Sportsnet. If you can't make it out to Comerica Park, stream the game live with a subscription. Detroit Sportsnet presented by Bet365. Tigers all season long. Red Wings starting this fall. National exclusivities. You're subject to. Terms and conditions apply. Don't miss a minute of the action and subscribe today at MLB.tv/Tigers right now. It was an ad lib.
There's way more words in that read than what you just said.
That is correct. We went to the chopped kitchen with that live read. Strike one to Bell. 6-0 Minnesota. A 10-batter first inning right off Jump Street. The Twins took the lead. Bell was a part of it, driving in a run and scoring a run.
Yeah, he flared a little changeup that was down away from him, just over Javi's head. That it kept extending the inning. It was like every guy up, they would just get it, hit it in a hole, hit it in a spot where nobody was. There's a baseball saying about that, I think.
How does it go? Just remind us.
Hit them somewhere.
I think it's where they ain't. 1-2. Hey, I was. Kids are going to go to practice next month. Hey, I was watching the Tigers game. Andy Dirk said, "Hit them somewhere."
It's better than hitting them nowhere.
So honestly, you're onto something, and that's why there's only been one strikeout in the game combined.
Somewhere's better than nowhere.
2-2. Wave and a miss. There's strikeout number 2 in the game. Number 1 for Fromber.
After a lot of curveballs, Fromber throws him the hit him nowhere ball. That's a 94 up and away. See Bell just a little bit behind it after seeing all the breaking balls.
Here's Wallner. Ground ball to second. That's McKinstry. That's out number 2, and this is from your Southeast Michigan Ford dealers.
Easy Pine customers who trade in their current vehicle can lease an F-150 XLT for only $349 a month for 36 months. Only at your Southeast Michigan Ford dealers.
First inning ambush is all the runs. Minnesota 6-0 in the bottom of the 3rd tonight as Minnesota tries to win the first 3 in this series. Minnesota didn't win a series against the Tigers last year. This would be their first series win in more than a calendar year. Lewis, shortstop, Javi Baez. And after 6 pitches, these words from our lovely sponsors.
And it's time for the Call Sam Best Call. You'll see right here, highest average versus Twins. Kerry Carpenter finds himself on that list. 373. Look at Brian Giles, one of the most underrated players ever. Freddie Freeman obviously rakes left-handed. Josh Donaldson rakes.
Over under 250 home runs for Brian Giles in his career.
Over. Giles hit like 30 plus for like a decade.
Yeah, so 287 in 15 years for Brian Giles.
Yeah, he mashed.
Career average 291. By the way, he was a complete hitter.
Really was. Just never got a ton of national attention. How many times was he an All-Star?
Twice with Pittsburgh. It's a ground ball up the middle. Keyshaw. One hopper.
Yeah, that's the long hop, no hop there. Looks like Keyshaw didn't have the grip on that, and you can see the disgust on his face. What did I just do there?
I don't know. Let's check in with Daniela.
We heard from Kerry Carpenter yesterday just about the fact that he seemed to find it over the weekend at Comerica Park. Said he was in the cage, something clicked for him, and he kind of had that aha moment. And he said sometimes it's like that when you're searching for something as a hitter. You know it's just a small tweak, and once you find it, you feel like you're seeing the ball well and you're timed up well. And for Kerry, it's all about the timing. He said sometimes his lower half and his upper half have to get right into sync and be ready to swing and ready to hit the ball, and that's exactly what happened in the cage for him over the weekend, guys.
Yeah, Kerry has 2 of the 7 homers, but when he said it, some guys say like, oh yeah, I found something. Kerry is that kind of guy that when he goes on a streak, generally the home runs pour out. As there is another fly ball. Martin makes the catch, and there are 2 away. The Tigers, it's been a very odd offensive year so far. 7 homers, 28th in baseball. 26% chase rate, second in baseball, second best in baseball. So you're swinging at the right pitches in some ways. Not great contact for the most part in terms of home runs.
And it comes down to timing. I mean, to hit a homer, you have to time the pitch up correctly. It's got to be perfect timing with what they're throwing. And we see today they're just a little out in front. We've seen them be a little behind on some heaters. And also, like, there's some balls that have been hit in this series that were touched pretty well. And in warmer weather, they probably go a little further. You can't blame it on just losing on the cold, but there is the reality of when the baseball's colder, it doesn't travel the same.
No, that's true. And Riley Green has been one of the guys who's dealt with that, but also as he skies this one foul, you know, that will this team go 4-7 in every 11 game span with the talent they have? The answer is very, very likely no on that.
Will there be 11 game spans where they go 7-4?
You'd have to believe so. I mean, that is the hard part to evaluate with this team over the past 2 years. They're a playoff team last 2 seasons. Not a whole lot of teams do that in Major League Baseball, even with the expanded postseason. But the Jekyll and Hyde finishes make people say, I wonder which one we're going to get in this span.
Yeah.
But generally, it has been better baseball than not.
Correct.
Guided foul. It does feel like slow motion compared to Taj Bradley last night. The swings even.
Yeah, it's got the parachute on it. You know, that changeup's coming in, and you can see him trying to set back on it, still finding themselves out in front.
And he goes with a changeup, and he's got strike 3, and the inning's over. Chevy's strongest player is this day in history. It was number 715. Babe Ruth passed by Henry Aaron on April the 8th, 1974. It only took him 4 days from 714 to 715. They were in Cincinnati 4 days prior. He hit it to tie Babe Ruth, then off of Al Downing and the Dodgers. Then he very quickly added to that with 716 3 days later off a very young Charlie Huff. But Henry Aaron, one of the all-time greats in Major League Baseball. This is the anniversary of home run number 715 for him. This ball is flicks out to right field and playable for Kerry Carpenter. There's one away as this game is settled in after the jumper cables on the first inning. Hank Aaron, 3,298 games in his Major League career. He finished with Milwaukee in 1976. He was past his 40th birthday at that point. And 3,771 hits. A Hall of Fame inductee in 1982. 25 All-Star games. 25.
They just gave him his All-Star jersey when the season started. It's like, yep. There you go, Henry.
This to third is a fair ball. McGonigal has to uncork, and there's zero chance of getting Byron Buxton.
Buxton's much too fast for where this ball was hit to have a play on him. McGonigal's got to go over and range out behind the bag, and you can see that's one of the longest throws in baseball right there, Jason. And the guy that can run like Buxton, doesn't matter who's fielding that, you ain't getting him.
And I wouldn't imagine with Fromber on the mound and up 6-0 that they would be looking to run, but runner control has been a thing that Fromber has worked on throughout his career. This is a ground ball to second, forcing McKinstry toward first, and he throws out Martin. So Buxton to second, 2 down, and the Twins have been hyper aggressive tonight against Fromber Valdez.
They have hit a lot of balls on the ground, but they've hit some line drives too, primarily in that first inning. Since then, Fromber's pretty much shut them down. with his normal arsenal, lots of ground balls.
Boy, that hit by pitch to Martin, and then the fielder's choice that wasn't.
Yeah.
This ball into center field is a base hit for Keyshaw. Another first pitch swing and another run. It's 7-0 Minnesota. This is fast food for the Twins tonight.
They had a sign when they came out of the locker room. No time like the present. And this sinker's up a little bit. You see Keyshaw, who's got extremely quick hands inside that zone. Allows him to get on top or get underneath a little bit, hit a line drive. And you can see Framber knows that's not an ideal location for a sinker.
Especially early with what they've been doing early in counts. So here is Jeffers. Framber throws to first. Bunch of series ended earlier, and so we are one of only 4 games going on in Major League Baseball tonight. The Athletics and Yankees are tied at 2 in the 5th at Yankee Stadium. Cubs and Rays 6-1 in the 8th. Chicago, and then the Marlins, as we mentioned earlier, playing against Cincinnati. Yeah, it's a strike on Jeffers. Rockies swept the Astros at Coors Field.
Strange things happen in the game of baseball.
Really weird. That leg kick from Framber was part of the runner control. That was a slower leg kick, and it mimicked his throw to first earlier in the sequence.
Yeah, you see Keyshaw thinking about retreating. He's like, I'm going to go to first. Nope.
Keyshaw is safe at second.
Right after that, he goes first move. Cat and mouse game. You know, a lot of these guys, and you see, what you'll see is some of these base runners, Jason, they'll be at first, and they seem to just take off running. A lot of times, either they're going first move, but they'll run on the pitch clock too. So if they're looking at the pitch clock and it's down to like 2 seconds, something like that, 1 second, they'll just take off.
It's a little bit like a defensive line and a play clock in football.
Yeah,
or a lot like it.
Yeah, it's like play clock's winding down. It's 2, it's 1. They'll go.
Pin them back.
That's it.
There have been a number of details in this game that have been generated by the rule changes, and that is certainly one of them. Is running on the timer. It's a good point, Andy. It's ball 4. Looked like it might be a quick inning for Framber. Instead, a run's in. 3 have reached, and Caratini comes up with 2 on and 2 out. First pitch swing again. Bloop to second. McKinstry underhand. Inning over. Minnesota adds on. It's a 7-0 lead for the Twins tonight.
Here's our Comerica Bank game summary. The story so far. Babe the Blue Ox got out to a big lead. He actually pushed Wanda the Walleye out of the way, which nobody said anything about it. There was no penalty flags thrown. But this one might be disputed later on in the media, Jason.
You think so? You think there's going to be a challenge system used or something? I mean, only in Minneapolis would there be a walleye and a mosquito and a loon and a blue ox, and then Bullseye the dog, Target's mascot, on the move. And just in case you wanted to see the beginning of the race, just to check and see if it was all legal.
Yeah, I mean, Wanda got out to a good start. Head down, good running for him. The walleye just ran out of gas.
It is a little surprising that a walleye would be so quick on land. Usually you would just imagine that there would sort of be some flopping around, and then that's kind of it. 1-2.
Tigers have got to figure out a way to get to Bailey Ober.
Which is not something we expected to say when we woke up this morning.
Nope. I mean, just some show me fastballs and then going with the changeup and the breaking ball pretty much exclusively in the zone. There haven't been a lot of fastballs that I've seen thrown for strikes. A lot off speed.
So 3-2 to Dingler here. And he went with the changeup and he got a ground ball. That's been the comfort pitch tonight. Brooks Lee threw it all the way to Edina. Yikes.
Brooks Lee comes in and it's a pretty easy play. He just threw it high. Sometimes a little break in a game, something goes your way, changes the momentum a little bit. But the goal here for Vierling is do not hit that ball on the ground. Get that ball on the barrel. Hit a line drive somewhere. The right side is so wide open. And you know Vierling's swing naturally goes that way. In the old of school, Jason, you see that hole right there we call the 4-hole? I mean, that is about as wide open as you can get over there.
Little tapper, third base side. Lewis on the charge. His play is at first, and he's got the out at first. Moving Dingler to second. Royce Lewis, who is leading the league. We checked the game notes, leading the league in face paint. I kind of like it. Looks like he's ready for just about anything on a diamond.
I just wonder when that stuff like that starts. Like, you know, one day he was like, man, I haven't gotten a hit in like a week. Try something different. One of his buddies put that on his face.
I like it. Third base, Lewis on the move, and look out. At some point, you're just protecting yourself.
That's right. When you run that far away from third base, you're like, I'm about to run into something somewhere for sure. There's got to be a chair or something out here I'm about to hit.
Or a baseball's going to hit me in the head.
Oh, yeah. No. He's looking directly over his head. He's like, I don't have it. I don't have it, guys.
Left field, Martin. A lot of similar fly balls tonight, Dirks.
Boy, howdy, have there been. I mean, those are just easy outs. When you're hitting fly balls off the end of the bat and you're a little late, really puts very little pressure on the defense. And you saw a few of the times they put a little pressure on. Brooks Lee threw one over the first baseman, but weak fly balls are about as simple of outs as you can get.
And very little pressure on the pitcher. I mean, Bailey Ober has had a leisurely night after 2 starts that have been pretty tense.
Yeah. And you know the scouting report on him. Throws that pitch right there, that high fastball. And then he throws a lot of changeups and a lot of sweepers. Which he'll throw a sweeper right here, I would imagine.
That's where the setup is. Ooh, that was not the sweeper that he was looking for. He's only thrown 9 of them all game. That was the 9th.
That changeup is too slow. They can't figure that out. Javi out in front of it. He's going to throw it.
Wonder if he believes in the sweeper enough to try one here. Right back to the changeup. Why change it if it's working? Lewis across the diamond. No harm done with the error. Big happy 83rd birthday to the tremendous 68 World Series champion John Hiller. Happy 83rd birthday to the former goaltender growing up. who spent 1974 as an all-star, 545 games pitched in the old English D, and he was the last guy when he retired in the 80s that was part of that 1968 World Series team. He pitched all the way through 1980, 11 games in 80 with the Tigers. But happy birthday to John. Hope it's a great one. And look, Tigers are hoping to get you some runs here, but 83rd birthday.
Yeah, happy birthday.
Phenomenal.
That's awesome.
He was a hockey goalie growing up, but at one point he said, as the story goes, that he would have just wanted one day between the pipes.
Yeah.
In an NHL game.
Just get him back there one day. Put the pads on. Let guys shoot pucks at you like 100 miles an hour. Sounds like a great Saturday.
Super appealing.
Go pick up some pillows at Bed Bath & Beyond afterwards.
Don't know if we'll have enough time. Josh Bell leads it off for Minnesota, then Wallner and Lewis in the Minnesota 5th. Right up the middle, McKinstry slurps it up.
That's how you snag it out of the air right there. Just like that. Hot shot, you got to time the jump right. We know McKinstry's got some real athleticism, but look at the hops right here. Come on, get up in there.
That's a former wide receiver.
That's
Zach
right.
McKinstry.
In high school, he played wide receiver. And that's that one, that little fade route to the pylon. The back corner, he jumped up, snagged it.
Or it's a quarterback like you throwing a button hook too high. You got the linebacker bearing down on you, like you as well.
Yeah, and I'd leave it high on purpose.
Yeah, you got to go jump for it. Your spleen ends up at the 35-yard line.
Yeah. Too bad that catch wasn't worth 6.
Guess how many first pitch swings Minnesota's had tonight?
12.
Oof. So close. You do win the Detroit Sportsnet home game for the door prize. 11 first pitch swings. By the way, Detroit Sportsnet, the home game. If we made the Detroit Sportsnet board game, I think it would fly off the shelves.
Yeah, that'd be a fun one to make.
You could play as all the characters.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Daniela's gloves. One and two on Wallner.
Yeah, you can have little cards and you read a line and say, who said this? And you have to pick which person said it.
Read it, you say, well, the grammar is wrong, so it's probably
Jason
Dirks. 2-2. Ooh, an in-between swing and strike 3 on a curveball. Wallner is out, 2 gone.
He hit a curveball earlier in the game to right field for a double. But this location on this one, you ain't hitting that anywhere. Wallner tried to check his swing at the end, but it was too late. That's a good curveball from Valdez, and that's good to see. He didn't have command of that in the first inning. That hurt him a little bit trying to navigate, well, especially once he got runners on base. But he settled in nicely since the first.
I know people get sick of me saying it, but at least if you're going to lose a game, you might as well save your bullpen.
Yeah, and he's pitched really well since that first inning. It's kind of an anomaly. What was that? I mean, how many innings has Framber given up 6 in his whole life?
2.
There you go. Anomaly. That's the word of the day. See right there, it says it. Anomaly.
How do you spell that, Andy?
F.V.A.
Ding.
L.D.E.S. No, that's Valdez.
Oh. And 2. Line drive to left. Another 2-strike hit. Twins have been 2-strike hitting demons the last 2 days.
And they're competing, Jason. I mean, you got to give them some credit too. They've hit some pitches that aren't easy to hit. They've been hitting change-ups down and away, hooking them for line drives. They've hit fastballs inside on the inside corner. Variety of pitches they've got barreled to.
Here's a lead for strike 1.
I will say this too, if you want me to continue.
Please.
It looks like they're having fun playing baseball.
Yeah.
They're playing loose. They're relaxed. They're trying to steal bases. They're running all over the place.
And they're getting jammed. Second base, McKinstry for the final out of the Twins' fifth. Away to the sixth we go after this. Colt Keith, top of the order. Then McGonigal and Torres coming up here in the sixth inning. And the former wrestler Colt Keith, who is sixth in Major League Baseball. He's averaging a hard hit ball upon contact. He would be the last Tiger to finish in the top 10 in exit velocity in a full season in 9 years. He has been one of the guys spearheading the offense so far, even though he doesn't have his first home run. He had 2 very long doubles early in the year, including the one off the facade in center field in Arizona that looked like it was destined to become a permanent part of the scaffolding out there. Colt, who is from Ohio, spent some time in Utah, then Mississippi, among other stops, and he hammers this ball deep to right field, and that is ringing off the wall and back in. It's another long double for Colt Keith.
That one won't hurt the exit velo average. He smashed that breaking ball. 104. Yeah, he spins one up there, Bailey Ober does, and Colt absolutely demolishes it. If the wall isn't so high in right field, Jason, that would have been a homer. But it is tall. Oh,
dunk.
Knocked the wall over. What's really terrible about that is you have to sprint like a wild man because Wallner's got a hose in right.
Yeah, he does. He played it very well off the carom as McGonigal takes ball 1.
You don't even get any time to look at it. You're just hit it and you have to sprint out the box. Man, I just absolutely destroyed that ball and I still got to run as fast as I can. What kind of game is this?
You sound so put out by it.
See if McGonigal can figure out the off-speed stuff here.
This would be the time, third time through against Bailey Ober. And they are going to probably have a little bit longer of a rope with Ober tonight because of the state of the Minnesota bullpen. Heavily taxed the past half week. McGonigal trampolines this into left center. That is Buxton. One away for Gleyber Torres. This is through 5 innings for Bailey Ober. Statcast 3D powered by Google Cloud. He's gotten outs on a dazzling array of pitches.
All kind of colors. And you can see the changeup leading the way. But he's mixed it up well. And there's still, you know, about the time you don't think he's going to throw a fastball, he does what he did to McGonigal there and throws 87, which looks like 112 after you see all those changeups. Trying to set back on it and then jams him.
11 flyouts. 11. And not many of them hard hit flyouts. We're not talking line drives for the most part. Outs.
I can't think of one hard hit fly ball other than Colt Keith, but that wasn't an out.
There's a hit, yeah.
I mean, most of them were off the end of the bat early. You know, kind of those little dying quell, bleeding things. What are other sayings that you say for those play-by-play guys?
Dying quail, honestly.
Parachute ball.
Went to bleeding things. Here's Gleyber Torres. Duck snort.
Duck snort. Yeah. So you're a play-by-play guy. So hit me with a couple more. What are some other ones you got in your arsenal? I know you sit at home and think about them.
I don't. I don't ever sit at home.
But you stand.
1-0. Evidently, the Kansas alphabet doesn't have the letter I in it, other than in Dirk's.
Optional.
And there are the names on it. Yeah. See, they did it again. They put our names on the screen. We're talking nonsense. 1-1. Change up to the outside corner to a right-hander.
Swing back change up for Bailey Ober. Like,
what is that?
Yeah, it's like a video game pitch. When you make your own player, you give him like a screwball. Is what that kind of looked like. Old school screwball.
Glaber's had to reach out and punch that thing.
They used to throw a screwball, which they would actually turn over and get it to, it's like a two-seam, but more spin to the arm side, right?
Brent Honeywell threw one of those a couple years ago. He's at the Padres, a couple other teams.
Oh, yeah, yeah. He threw it, yeah.
Jim Messier back in the 90s and 2000s threw a screwball. He was at Oakland and Tampa Bay, I think it was. But yeah, it's essentially a reverse changeup, right?
Yeah.
Right side, that's a base hit. Glaber just guides it into right field, and Wallner's quickly there. So it's 1st and 3rd, 1 out for the Tigers, and their best chance comes here in the 6th.
Give Carey a chance to wait on a potential changeup, get it up in the zone. But if you can't beat them, join them. I mean, if they're going to start throwing a lot of slow stuff up to the plate, you see Glaber, he's just going to slow his swing down and guide it over to the right side, get barrel on it. And that's one thing that Glaber's shown the ability to do, is just make adjustments and get barrel of the bat to baseball.
Glaber was like, all right. Here's Carpenter. Carey takes outside, ball 1. So if it's going to start, maybe it's this at bat for the Tigers.
Yeah, they need to start looking to go here. When you're down 7, you got your 2 of your biggest hitters coming up, your lefties, against a guy who should be a pretty favorable matchup for both of them.
On the ground, through. That's the Tigers' first run. Kerry Carpenter drives it in. 1st and 3rd again. Torres to 3rd. Keith is in. It is 7-1.
Now they'll get on the board. You see the soft stuff away, and Carey hits it back through the middle for a base knock, and rinse and repeat. It'll be 1st and 3rd again. Little mound visit. They're going to start getting the bullpen loose-ish. Still a lot of work to do. Chip away. If you could put up a nice crooked number here, get back in the game.
Yeah, you got a chance. I mean, Minnesota, again, it's a highly used bullpen. We have not seen Garrett Acton, who just came up for this series, but 4 relievers yesterday, 4 the day before. Orsi is likely down, throwing the last 2, and it's Justin Topa, who threw 14 times yesterday, who is up, and that would be 3 of 4 for him going into the day game tomorrow.
Yeah, put a 4 or 5 on this inning. You got a real ball game in a hurry. Be a good time for Riley to go ahead and get one over the fence somewhere.
Would be his first this year. First one to him. Up and out, ball 1. After Riley is the on deck hitter Dylan Dingler, sponsored by CNL Ward. He's waiting there on deck for a possible chance to draw the Tigers closer. Two and 0 on Green. This is a swing territory for sure.
Yep. Man, I'd be shocked if Bailey gave him something like middle in fastball, but he did that 3-1 earlier in the game. Riley flew out to right center. Yeah, they don't want to give it to him. Now the Tigers swung 3-0 a couple times yesterday to no avail.
I would
in a
bet
ball
this
game
no.
like this, I would probably take, because base runners are premium.
Yeah. A home run would be nice. You'd still be down 3. 3-0. Called a strike.
Ooh, he's thinking about challenging.
Don't have a
Because
lot
that
of
is
time to
that
think.
is very high.
Yeah. And it was. It would have been ball 4. (3-1). Man, it got inside on him. Buxton is in on it. He makes the catch. Torres won't tag. Oh, and they have a chance at him over at third. He's back back in time, but Caratini cut that thing off and tried to make a play on Torres. A couple of former Yankees and Cubs there, and that fly ball ends up nearly becoming a double play.
Yeah, you can see they're just having fun playing baseball, Benetti. The throw takes Caratini to the third base side, so he says, look, there may be a play here. And when guys play loose and have fun and are relaxed and aren't stressing, things like that start getting created more often.
Well, Caratini is a catcher by trade, but he's playing first base to be more flexible of a defensive player. Now, look, again, I mean, you have to say it. That would have been ball 4 to Riley Green. He would have been on base. The Tigers have missed on a couple challenge opportunities the past few days. And it's easy to armchair quarterback. We have a very clean look at it in the booth, and we're all getting used to this, too. As that ball is shot into left center field, Dingler hammers a changeup to make it 7-2.
Nice adjustment by Dingler from previous at bats to watch that changeup. It starts away off the plate. He knows it's coming back. He does not give up on it. Drives it back through the middle.
And that'll be all for Bailey Ober. His best start of the season. He goes through 5 2/3, and he'll leave up 7-2.
And may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Detroit Tigers.
Memberships for the 2026 season are available now, so take a swing, become a 1901 Society member. Members get the best benefits, including year-round events, access to the best seats at the best prices, guaranteed opening day tickets presented by Rocket, and more. Visit tigers.com/2026 for more info.
Hot dog, that'll be a fun time. Time to go to the bullpen for a Wallside Windows pitching change. It is Justin Topa on the mound for Minnesota. He's got 2 runners that Ober bequeathed to him, 2 out, and Parker Meadows pinch hitting for Matt Veerley. So Parker comes on to get the left versus right opportunity.
And when Topa came on yesterday, he started off throwing sinkers, could not find the zone with that sinker, and he quickly changed to throwing a lot of cutters and then had some success. Walked the leadoff guy when he first came out of the pen yesterday. See if he goes to the cutter quickly, because the sinker ain't finding its home.
He did.
It's kind of like a repeat. I'm having deja vu.
Wouldn't be the first time this season. 2-1. Right back up the middle, off of Topa, kicking to shortstop. Lee's throw not in time.
Sometimes the pitcher touches it and it causes chaos. This is one of those times. He got the ball down and away, Parker did, and he hits it pretty well up the middle, a little off the end of the bat. But Brooks Lee is in perfect position for that baseball if Topa doesn't touch it. But sometimes it's easier said than done. Parker's way too fast down the line. After there was any contact with the glove to the pitcher, Brooks Lee had no shot at Parker.
First pitch swing, ground ball foul from McKinstry, 0-1. Yeah, you have to know where your fielders are.
Yeah, just don't touch it, especially in today's game where a lot of guys will play up the middle. Brooks Lee right now is playing up the middle. Anytime there's a lefty up, almost, they're always going to have that shortstop move over. Well, not quite directly behind second. You can't play on the other side of second with the shift rules, but in that vicinity.
Smack foul, 0-2 on McKinstry. Big spot here for the Tigers, trailing 7-2. It was 6-0 Minnesota after 1. Shoved him off the plate with a sweeper. 1 ball, 2 strikes. One and 2 to Zemak. Getting fire on it. Change up down low. He's seen the whole barrel from Topa so far.
He just needs a mistake. Topa to miss a spot, leave something over the plate.
Two and 2. 3 balls, 2 strikes.
Looks like Zemak's seeing it pretty well.
Seems like it.
Whenever he's had to make a pitch, he's liked the changeup and the cutter. The cutter has kind of been his go-to to throw a strike.
In the air, left center field. Martin's on it. Tigers pick up a couple of runs. Could have been more. Topa gets out of it. Colt Keith started it with a double. Glaber, Carey, Dillon all with hits. 7-2. 7-2, Minnesota over the Tigers on the Bet365 scoreboard here in the bottom of the 6th. Framber Valdez still out there. Parker Meadows into center field. He replaces Matt Vierling, who he pinch hit for in the top of the 6th. But Framber outlasts Bailey Ober in the game despite giving up 6 runs in the first inning, as Kyle Finnegan has been up in the Tigers bullpen after throwing twice yesterday but not getting in the game. And now Manuel De Jesus has started to throw as well. So there is a strike from Framber to Byron Buxton. Hey, look, there's another Byron Buxton hit. It's his 3rd of the game. It's his 5th of the series, and it's a double here in the 6th as we go downstairs to Daniela.
I got to interact with a fan here, and he is here with his dad, Blaine. They have been watch the Tigers play baseball for not only the Tigers, but also for the broadcast. I took a picture with him. He had a sign that he wanted to say hi to me and you two up there. And I asked him how he became a Tigers fan. He said he's actually from Minneapolis, and his great-grandfather, Jay, was born in Detroit and kept the Tigers fandom with him. He's 100 every single game. So Jay's watching at home, and he's got his grandson Blaine, great-grandson Paul at the game tonight. He was so excited to say hello. He was enjoying a couple of hot dogs, Paul was, and he's a huge Tigers fan because of his great-grandpa.
How old is great-grandpa? You cut out briefly when you were saying it.
105. His name is
Wow.
Jay, and he watches all of our broadcasts.
Hi, Jay. That is amazing.
Isn't that incredible? And he was born in Detroit, passed down the Tigers fandom to his kids, grandkids, and now great-grandkids.
That is amazing. So cool. Well, hello to Jay. Thank you for watching. We wish we could have gotten you better results so far, but man, I would love to be able to live to 85, let alone 105. That is so cool.
Yeah, what a life. Experiences and passing down the old English D to the family. It's one cool thing about Tigers fans. There's so many generational fans all over the country. They might have moved out of Detroit or moved back to Detroit. They go in and out, but you could randomly be in St. Louis, and there's somebody that's a Tigers fan. Basically, you can name a city, and there's a Tigers fan there.
Fly ball to right field. Kerry Carpenter on the move. He's not going to get there. It bounced in front of him. Martin really had to squeal the brakes. He looked like a skateboarder for a moment over at first base. It's 1st and 3rd, nobody out.
He was thinking 2 the whole way. Had to pull a little kick flip here. Tony hawked it. He's a good athlete. He made a nice play out in left field earlier.
Well, lights are going to go out on Framber here tonight, and Manuel De Jesus will come in to face a battery of right-handers in the 6th in a 7-2 ball game. Wallside Windows pitching change is Emmanuel De Jesus, who threw 38 pitches on Sunday. And he will face Keyshaw, Jeffers, and Caratini. And Keyshaw, just be on the lookout. His 2 hits have come on the first pitch and the second pitch of an at bat. First and third for him. Yep.
He's ready. Well, he knows Tigers pitchers are trying to get ahead. They're trying to throw first pitch strikes.
Didn't pull the trigger there, ball on a strike.
You'll see De Jesus. He likes the 4-seam changeup combo to the righties.
Could have been a challenge there. It's interesting, the span of first pitch strike rate in the league. There's a 11.5% spread from team 1 to team 30, which is fairly wide. It's early in the year, certainly, as this popped up, and that's a big first out. If McKinstry squeezes it, and he does. There's one away, and here's a message from Rally House.
The season starts at Rally House. From jerseys and hats to tumblers for game day, it's where outrageous selection meets every fan's style.
First and third, 1 out, and Manuel De Jesus trying to get the Tigers back to the bat rack, trailing by the 5 that are currently on the scoreboard.
And we've seen Jeffers hit the ball to right field hard multiple times this series. He kind of is leaning out over the plate. He's looking for that soft stuff away. I wouldn't mind trying to come in, beat him in, see if you can get in on him at some point, or at least show in, and then work away. I feel like he's going to want the ball away from him, and he can get it in the air to right field doing that.
First one is away on a cutter, ball 1.
They've kind of lived out there with him. He's hit some balls sharply.
Jeffers ahead 2-0.
This is what happens, Jason. If you throw away to hitters, they start just having to zone into one side of the plate. It makes your life pretty easy. You're not ducking in and in, out, up, down. But even the east and west thing is a big deal because he looks way too comfortable in the box. Way too comfortable. Everything's away.
Even if he can beat you in, even if that's what the scouting report says.
At some point, you got to show him something in there.
Two and 1.
Pretty easy, pretty comfortable. Now he's got to look for a punch out.
Change up, down and out, maybe.
It's probably going to be away.
2-2. It's the third time Jeffers has gone full tonight. But now what, right?
Well, I bet he's looking away.
Certainly. Martin at first, Buxton at third. Throw to first and then to second base, and here comes Buxton from third, and he's going to score.
Too many athletes. As soon as Colt Keith started running Austin Martin and Colt threw the ball, Buxton just sprinted home. He didn't wait around at all. And this can be tough when you got a really fast guy at third base, but watch Colt. He throws the ball all the way over because Austin was there. I mean, what do? You either got to concede second base or you concede home. Good timing by Buxton.
Is the play to throw home there?
Yeah, you don't let him score. You're down by runs.
Yeah.
But the instinctual play is when you see the guy go, you're going to throw the ball to second if you're Colt Keith, right?
Especially if you haven't played it.
If you haven't played a bunch, but with the runner at third, you have to decide, do we concede that bag or not? And Buxton timed it up perfect.
Yeah, it's good timing and good scouting by Minnesota.
Yeah, as soon as if you throw from first base all the way to second and you have Byron Buxton at third and he goes as soon as you throw it, he's safe every time at home. There's no play.
He's just waiting for that first move.
Yep.
To second base, and then he's gone.
That's it. So that's something, though, you put that in a memory bank if you're Colt Keith when you're learning positions in situations.
Right field, base hit. Jeffers safe at third.
Throws the ball out over the plate away. Carantini leans out over the plate and hits to right. I see a pattern developed.
Yeah, in Major League Baseball, more than ever now, you have to be able to hit all four quadrants.
Yeah, you have to go in, show in at least. Because if you're going to go change up fastball away, you're going to get guys leaning out over the plate.
There's a fastball to Bell, who's seen a lot of fastballs in this series.
Yeah, his bat has been a little bit behind the heater.
He has been a first pitch attack man in this series. And he takes a ball there. (8-2) Minnesota in the sixth. We're one of 2 games left in Major League Baseball right now. Athletics and the Yankees are in the 8th.
Oh, they're in. Is there another one, or is it just 2?
Just 2. That's it. Thanks for asking. They're tied at 2.
I thought you said there was 2 others.
Oh, I'm sorry. There were 2 others that have gone final. Cubs beat the Rays.
Okay.
Miami beat the Reds.
Miami's coming into town.
They are.
When we get back from the this road trip.
The Fish will join us in Detroit Friday through Sunday. That's a strike, and that's a challenge. Josh Bell challenges strike 2. It's an ABS challenge presented by Figer Law, and it is ball 4. And a roar from the crowd. Nobody likes challenges more than the denizens of 10,000 Lakes. The crowd, I will say, to Major League Baseball's credit, the parlor game of ABS challenges has been a big hit in stadium.
It has.
It really, it's a fun little game.
Everybody gets to look at the board.
Is it?
Hold their breath. Is it? Yeah. Or
ooh, I don't know. So bases loaded, 2 out. Wallner the batter.
This is where DeJesus goes more sinker cutter when a lefty steps in. He worked that sinker down under their hands of a left-handed hitter, get some weak contact over to first or second base, and then spin it away.
Bases loaded, 2 gone. Wallner takes inside. And then he swings through a cutter. There's a combo you're talking about, 1-1.
Yeah, if he can command that on the outside part, that's always a good pitch, left on left. Mix those 2. One's going in, one's going away.
Jeffers pretty well down the line at third, and then he shuffles back. Wallner did go around. He didn't want to, but he went around. He had regrets, and he'll call time.
He's trying to decide if he should just completely set cutter or not, because obviously he's not seen it that well. Yeah,
Took a cutter.
He's pretty much saying, and this is a location take, he's saying if that ball's starting outer third, I'm not swinging. That's where you see some of those lefties use that little swing back, depending on if they got it or not.
Let's see, 2-2. Setup is outside again from Dingler. And he struck him out with a fastball. Straight fastball ends the inning, and the Twins leave him loaded.
Got him looking low and away for some spin. And how about the heat up in the kitchen?
Could be anybody, literally anybody in Tigers history. Oh, it's a guessing game. One of 3 rookie outfielders for the Tigers in 2010.
Yeah. I think I might already know who it is.
You do?
Yeah, go to the next one.
Next clue. Included in the deadline deal for Doug Fister.
Now I'm lost.
You don't know?
No, I don't know.
All right,
Did I play with him?
I mean, probably. Oh, shares the name of the friendly ghost. Okay. Got it.
Casper Wales?
Mm-hmm.
My guy. Love Casper.
Anthony Bonda, the new pitcher for Minnesota. There he is.
Yeah.
Casper Wells on photo day. Give us your best Casper Wells story.
Best Casper Wells story. On field? On field.
Whichever.
So I remember Casper Wells was on the 40-man when we were in AA, which was a big deal.
Yeah.
Because you get paid like 30 grand or something like that.
We got a challenge here from Javi Baez. See, yeah, it's a strike. Solid strike. Tigers lose a challenge.
So I remember we're in AA, and I had an old Dodge Dakota truck. And Casper, he got on that 40-man, and he got him a nice white Explorer. Like it had a CD player in it. I was like, man, this is what happens when you make it. Right? We rolled around Erie, Pennsylvania in that thing one day. It was a great time. But he had made it. Little did we know we'd both end up in the big leagues.
It's fantastic. CD player.
Yeah.
High end. And not one of those that you got to plug in with one of those janky cords.
No, it was like one of the custom, like they took the original radio out and you put the CD player in. And you remember back then it was cool to, like, the subwoofers go like that, you know, that annoying bass sound that for whatever reason in the early 2000s everybody wanted.
Can't hear yourself think.
No.
Torque's on deck, by the way, as Javi runs it 2-2.
But that was a big deal making the 40-man roster back in the day.
And
because your pay increase was huge.
For sure. And you got to drive around with him.
Yeah. And we got to drive around in the Explorer together.
2-2 through the left side. Base hit for Baez. Torque will hit for Colt Keith. And the Tigers have the leadoff man aboard. So Colt leaves 1 for 3, and then Torque will play first base for the remainder of the night. 2-man bench left. Jake Rogers, Jahmai Jones for the Tigers. As we told you the other day, Anthony Bonda has massive splits. The right-handers generally do much better against him. So you see Torque come off the bench in this spot for Colt.
Usually when a lefty's primary pitch is a slider, it means he's good on lefties.
Yeah,
for
get
sure.
that wrap around.
Yeah.
Torque's been seeing a lot of long plate appearances, but this is a 2-pitch fly out to center in Buxton and 1 away.
That's a good pass at it. He just got under it a tick. That was barrel, though. Yeah, this is about the time of the game. The old Skip Jim Leland, he'd walk up and down the dugout once in a blue moon and he'd go, come on, let's take a run at it. Come on, Benetti. Let's take a run at it. Why not? Why not? Let's take a run at it. He'd whack you on the shoulder and then go back to his spot.
Meaning come back or take an early swing like McGonigal just did. Base hit for Kevin.
Take a run at it. That way, McGonigal. Take a run at it.
You're just going to keep saying that, aren't you?
That's what he would do.
I know. I get it.
Yeah.
Just trying to take a run at it.
Why not?
Well, look, you get a lefty-lefty hit. You might as well take a run at it with a right-hander.
Come on, Glaber, take a run at it. Why not?
He's gonna. And then you have Jahmai Jones on deck to take a run at it. This is threatening to be take a run at it.
This is.
The most repeated phrase in a half inning on Tigers TV since Faye Dunaway.
I try to mimic things that Hall of Famers do. Jim Leyland, Hall of Fame manager. One of the best to ever do the job.
Yeah.
Take a run at it.
Take a run at it. Down the right field line, into the corner it goes. One run is coming home. McGonigal around third. He is there, standing up. It's 8-4. You never know. Take a run at it.
Why not? Do it for the skipper. Oh, wait, Torres. Come on, Jahmai. Take a run at it, Jahmai. Do it for the skipper. Why not? Look at this piece right here by Glaber. Gets that fastball. Middle in, sucks the hands inside, hits a laser beam to right. Call that a frozen rope. 2 RBIs. Look at McGonigal. McGonigal can scoot now. His sprint speed. I knew he would. They say, you know, guys say guys are fast. He has that playable fast with the angles he takes at the bases.
Yep. Derek Shelton was just out there talking to first base umpire Adrian Johnson. The umpires are going to come talk something over. Did the ball get stuck under the wall lodged there, and they're arguing that that second run shouldn't have scored? Nobody granted the dead ball, but the umpires are going to talk it over.
Did Wallner throw his hands up is the question, because you have to appeal it by throwing your hands up in the air if you're an outfielder. If you play it, it's a live ball. Oh, it's lodged. Does he throw his hands up, though? He doesn't put his hands up. If you don't put your hands up.
He went and played it.
Yep, then it's a live ball. So, but if Wallner throws his hands up, the Tigers don't score. That's like in the outfield, you always put your hands up if anything gets lodged at all.
And it's usually very much usually granted. That gets away. Glaber to third.
I mean, come on, Benetti. Come on, Benetti.
Take a run at it.
Why not? But yeah, you got to throw your hands up if you're in the outfield. And I've only heard of one getting overturned when an outfielder threw his hands up, and the ball definitely was not lodged.
Yeah, if it's anything close to lodge, you're going to get that call. Is the history here in Major League Baseball. 1-0 is a strike. It's 1-1 as Cole Sands is loosening in the Minnesota bullpen. Each team has one ABS challenge left, as it's 8-4 in the 7th. Foul. 1-2. Jahmai Jones looking for that first hit this year. It would be a big spot for it. Two and two.
See, Jeffers trying to set up on the inside part of the plate, get the fastball by him. Missed arm side on that one.
Struck him out, high slider.
Yeah, after a plethora of fastballs, They changed things up by throwing the slider, and you see Jemai a little bit late to it. By the time he recognized the pitch, it was coming back. Started off the plate, ended up on the plate.
Now Riley Green. Gotta have that 5th run here. Strike 1. Torres at 3rd, 2 gone in the 7th. If you just joined us, Minnesota sent 10 batters to the plate in the 1st inning. They hopped on Framber Valdez very early on and led the game 6-0 on 5 first-inning hits. 1-1 to Riley. Oh, duck and cover.
Now you got to really think. Stick your nose back in there after they throw up and in. You know he likes to throw sliders. Riley's gotten a lot of fastballs this year. But after they go up and in like that, man, usually they want to go away with something.
Riley to second base. That's off the glove of Keyshaw. He can't recover, and the Tigers make it 8-5, and then they throw it away. Riley was nearly in the line of fire there. They're going to try and tag Riley Green here just in case. But it is 8-5. Torres scores, and this game has turned into whack-a-mole a little bit.
Tigers getting right back in it here. After almost getting hit in the face, Riley takes a slider, hits it over in the 4-hole. Keyshaw can't come up with it, and the throw was right at Riley again. He's had a dodge, duck, dip, and dive, all sorts of baseballs. Watch him run down the line. Then they have the nerve to try to tag him. It's like, guys, I'm just trying to save my life over here. And now you're like, oh, I'm going to tag you like you're going to get me out.
No, you can dodge a wrench. You can dodge a tag.
Like, yeah, go ahead, tag me. I don't care at this point.
Yeah,
I'm just glad I'm alive.
Good luck to you. All right, 8-5. Cole Sands is coming in. Tigers are still batting here in the 7th.
Take a run at it, Benetti.
Might as well. Wallside Windows pitching change. Minnesota has seen the lead dwindle down to 3. Cole Sands is out on the mound, and he's going to face Dylan Dingler with Riley Green at first. 2 out in the Tigers 7th. 2 runs are home. Trying to add on some more in a game that was 6-0, then 7-0, then 7-2, then 8-2, and now 8-5. Strike 1. Dylan's been on 3 times, twice via the hit, once via an error. Curveball fouled away, 0-2.
Sands knows the assignment. Come in and throw strikes. He said whenever there's quirky things going on in a ball game, the last thing you want to do is allow more free base runners. Now Dylan's got to dig in. See if he can battle up with 2, get the count back in his favor a little bit. There you go. Foul it off. Why not?
Oh, 2, got to fight. Green at first. In the air, into right center. That's down for a base hit. Dylan Dingler's 3rd hit tonight, and suddenly out of nowhere, the Tigers bring up the tying run to the plate in the 7th.
No quit baseball. Good at bat by Ding, too. After getting down 0-2, he's done such a good job, Jason, making the adjustments to the breaking balls that he's seen. He fouled off a heater the pitch before this, reaches out over the plate, stings it to right center field. And that's just being a good hitter. That's just being adjustable in the box, being an athlete, understanding the situation. And the Tigers are making a run at this thing.
All you got to do is ask, Skip.
Do it for Skip. Come on.
Parker Meadows. 2 on, 2 out. And that gets away all the way to the backstop. Riley races home. It's 8-6.
We got a ball game. You said weird things were happening in the break, and you're like, there's just so many weird things happening. The probability is going up all the time here. Sands spikes his heater. Jeffers can't keep it in front. Riley reads it perfectly. That one didn't hit the limestone that we saw in game 1 and bounced back. It was deadened by the glove of Jeffers.
This is a pinball machine right now, this game. 2-0 on Parker Meadows. Got a strike. He registered it with a fastball. Parker came in to pinch hit for Vierling in the 6th. He singled off the then pitcher Topa. Take a nice pass at that and foul away a cutter. 2-2.
He was on that cutter. You know, Sands does have a split as well that he likes to throw to lefties once in a while.
2-2.
Back
wrapped around a curveball for strike 3, and that is it for the 7th inning. But the Tigers are back with 4 runs in this 7th. Figer lost 7th inning stretch. Oh, pressure building on Minnesota. Tigers baseball on Detroit Sportsnet is brought to you by Wallside Windows, local and family owned, celebrating 82 years as Michigan's leader in replacement windows. And by your Metro Detroit Buick GMC dealers. On field, off field, phenomenal catches to knock your socks off here at Target Field the last 3 days. A little ricochet, snare it. This one, I mean, off the bounce. That's a pond skipper.
He's got a Kirby Puckett jersey on. You know, Puckett can catch it.
Hey, good out there in center at the Metrodome. Tigers fans dancing like Andy on TikTok. And our Wallside Windows pitching change is to Kyle Finnegan, who does get in the ball game tonight here in the 7th in a 2-run game. Finnegan to Royce Lewis first. And ball 1. So substantial defensive changes. Spencer Torkelson is in the ball game at first, and Jahmai Jones stays in right. Two and 0. Finnegan to Lewis.
He likes to run that 4-seam up in the zone. That one's just a little too high. Then he'll mix it up and go down with the split. 4-seam, fastball, split finger. Finnegan's arsenal. Slider once in a while.
There's a high fastball and ball 3.
Take a deep breath. Zone it back in.
Yep, ball 4. After that, let's get a message from Figer Law.
If you've been injured in a trucking accident, make Figer Law your first call. Figer Law. All we do is win.
All we do is win.
With our wonderful crew, Daniela Bruce downstairs, Andy Dirks, Jason Benetti. 8-6 your score. Minnesota in the lead. Brooks Lee, the hitter. The 9 spot. Byron Buxton is next against Finnegan. And it's a bunt popped up. Who's got it? It's over at third. McGonigal making the catch for out number 1.
Take a nice quick out on a 4-seam riding up on Brooks Lee. He pops it up. McGonigal takes charge, says, I got it, I got it, I got it. Finnegan bails out of the way, but you see him stab up. You want to start the bat high to bring it down. Down to up is not good when you bunt a baseball. If your barrel has to go up, you should take it. So you start the barrel kind of at the top of the zone when you square to bunt.
First pitch slider to Buxton.
And he doesn't throw a lot of sliders traditionally.
No.
The reason for that, Jason, is there's been quite a few loud noises on first pitches to Buxton in this series. He loves the first pitch fastball. He wakes up wanting first pitch fastballs.
Yeah, he's got an alarm clock, actually.
That was painted right there.
Yeah,
that was paint.
We're going to get a challenge.
The catcher is challenging the call of ball.
I think it's a good one by Ding right here.
It's a strike.
The call's a return. The pitch was a strike. Detroit retains their challenge.
Satisfying for the Tigers catcher, Dylan Dingler, who's been great at challenges. He's only missed one this year. Yeah, his miss was by 1/10 of an inch. Well, there goes the runner, and now Finnegan throws to first, and it's not a good enough throw to get the out on Lewis, who was caught in between first and second.
Right about now, everybody will step off. By the time he does and gets in line with the throw. See, because he thought he was going to have to throw the ball to second.
Yep,
that's what
where
happened.
he went. You're right.
Yep, so he turned the wrong way. Well, it's the right way because you don't want to take the lead back.
0-2. This is a game that's been full of tomfoolery. Twins got a run on a modified double steal. Martin took off and sacrificed himself from first. Buxton came racing home. That's Minnesota's most recent run, and that's a huge run in this game. Go to first more conventionally. Well, that is the second disengagement, by the way, because he had to throw to first that last time. So
good point.
Got to remember that here. If you throw to first and don't get him, that is a balk. 2-2 on Buxton.
Not chasing the split down. Those are down by design to try to get some swing and miss out of Buxton's bat with 2 strikes. Pitch here, you need to get a little closer to the zone.
2-2. Lewis at first. 3-2.
See if they loosen up the runner at first base here.
I wonder.
Strike him out, throw him out. Potential.
Dingler at the ready. 3-2. Lewis at first, and he will run. Check swing, ball 4. Second walk of the inning, 4th in the last 2 innings for Minnesota.
Yeah, that'll bring Trevor Larnach in to pinch hit for Austin Martin. Larnach, the left-handed bat. They want that matchup against Finnegan. Dingler's going to go out and have a quick word. Remind him of what they want to do against Larnach. Because he's hit a couple of those off-speed pitches away. Kind of hooked him out to right field.
Right? He's hit the ball well against righties so far this year. Small sample size certainly, but Larnach is the play here. His on base percentage is .500. He's got 5 walks to 1 strikeout so far. Coming into the series, he'd only seen 2 out of every 5 pitches in the strike zone. He's been the Twins' force field so far this year.
Now Finnegan can induce a ground ball. Sure, he can get some ground ball.
Two on, 1 out. Lewis at second, Buxton at first, and Larnach takes ball 1. 2-0. Oh, he took a big rip and a ball out of the zone. Maybe that 40% zone rate starting to annoy him.
It might be.
Throw me a strike.
He's just excited. You got runners in scoring position. You got a guy in a fastball count that throws a ton of fastballs, and this is what we talked about early in the season. Even though the top of the zone might be coming down a little bit strike-wise, guys are still going to swing at that.
At least for now. 2-1. Not that time. 3-1.
Got to find that release point with the heat.
Keyshaw next. He's seen a grand total of 10 pitches in 4 at-bats. As this is a ground ball right at second base. McKinstry, Baez, double play. Huge turn by the Tigers, and Finnegan.
Needed the ground ball, got the ground ball. McKinstry, Javi on the turn. Torque with the nice stretch and reach. See if the Tigers can put a couple runs on the board. Make Sundays a home run with the Meyer Family Fun Day deal for just $79. Get 4 Tigers tickets, 4 dogs, 4 chips, 4 drinks, or upgrade to the new pizza meal for just 10 more bucks. Plus, you can add extra tickets to fit your family. Don't miss out. Visit tigers.com/Sunday for more info.
Well, Cody Lorison is on the mound again for Minnesota after throwing an inning and 2/3 of very nice baseball on Monday for his first career save out of the University of Maine in Orono. It's our Wallside Windows pitching change. And again, a well-worn bullpen for Minnesota turns to Lorison with a 2-run lead in the 8th. He throws a strike.
You got to get on top of this guy. He's got that 4-seam that kind of rides up from a lower arm slot, which is a little different look.
One defensive change, by the way, for Minnesota. James Outman is on in the spot previously occupied by Austin Martin. The pinch hitter was Larnick, and Outman comes in as a defensive upgrade. Ball and 2 strikes on Zemak. Tigers have surged back in the game with 2 in the 6th, 4 in the 7th.
Would you say they're making a run at it?
They're doing everything they can to honor Skip. Touched foul.
Nice job by McKinstry fouling that pitch off. When a guy's got a good 4-seam that rides up, it speeds you up a little bit. So when he dumps a good changeup in, do whatever you can to just get a piece of it. Get to the next pitch.
Came over the top with a fastball straight home at 94, and it's fouled away again. One, 2, one more time. That's a challenge. It was a ball at 2 and 2. We'll see if Jeffers has it. Could be strike 3. We'll find out together. What do you got? Strike.
Also returned. The pitch is a strike. Minnesota retains their challenge.
1 away in the 8th. Big challenge by Jeffers.
Yeah, cozied it up to the bottom rail of the strike zone, froze McKinstry. And the leadoff man is not aboard for the Tigers. That'll bring up Javi.
Jeffers ended 2 innings last night with challenges late in the game. Talking to some of the Tigers yesterday about Lorison on Monday, the feeling was that the delivery is more funky to look at than it is for a right-hander if you just watch the arm coming over. So you see that delay, but evidently for right-handers you can see the ball pretty cleanly coming out, even though there's that kind of hitch in the delivery.
Yeah. That lead side arm, that glove goes high in the air, and he kind of just replaces it with the throwing hand. But a lot of relievers, if they have a little hitch, they have a little something, You got to get in time with them quickly and find the release point. Some guys it's harder to do than others. Once you find the release point, though, you can usually dial in pretty quick.
I mean, you got to do it within 2 pitches. At least the first time you see him. That's why teams try to protect relievers from getting seen multiple times in a series.
Exactly.
Two and two. Three balls, 2 strikes on Javi Baez from Lorison. Torque after McGonigal in the hole. Spencer Torkelson came in the 7th to hit for Keith against Bonda, the left-hander. 3-2 on Baez. And Javi rips it to right field. That is down, and it's extra bases on the way to the wall. Javi cruises into second. The Tigers are not done on this Wednesday night.
Why not? Nice at bat by Javi. Laid off a couple pitches down in the zone. He gets the slider out over the plate that just kind of stays up, shoots it to right field. Uses the quadriceps and the hamstrings to get the legs up and down to motor around first base and make it to second.
And now Torque, who would love to have his first home run this year.
I would too. I'm in agreement. This guy, you got to really get aggressive to his spot on, though, if he's going to throw that 4-seam up and in. Look to get the head of the bat out.
2-0.
And you mentioned earlier in the broadcast, you know, it's not like the Tigers are chasing a ton, swinging at pretty good pitches. It's just a matter of getting that quality of contact up a little bit.
See if Torque can on 2-0. On a ground foul to third.
That's the right idea. Look to do damage on the pull side. You can see Torque right there. Yeah, just get through it a little bit more.
Two-one hit him square in the back. 2 on, 1 out. Torque is on. Baez at second. Nobody worry. We won't have any Jorge Soler, Reynaldo Lopez going on here.
Don't need any of that. Nope. But this is an interesting matchup here because McGonigal has hit the 4-seam fastball very well. And teams, even to the degree that they don't throw him a ton of heaters. Lawyerson is like 70% fastball. So they're going to have a little visit here to see, are we going to try to attack with a little bit of change of speed? Maybe try to throw the changeup? Or if you throw the fastball, make sure you spot it. Tigers taking a run at it.
A big run at it.
Do it for the skipper. Why not?
So McGonigal saw Lorison the other night. He threw him 2 changeups away and then a high fastball to end it. It was 2 changeups kind of poking at the outside corner and then a fastball up. Second look at him here. 2 on, 1 out in this 8th. And he goes away first. He saw nothing close to his body in that matchup Monday night. Ball 2.
McGonigal finds himself in the pole position here. You know he's looking for a baseball to drive. Wants a fastball, middle of the plate.
Outside, not close. 3-0 on McGonigal. 2 on, 1 out, 8th inning, and some restlessness falls over Target Field with Gleyber Torres next. Oh, Kevin swings at it and pops it up. Third base side, foul territory, and Lewis makes the catch.
Man, Starts him out with fastballs, one away, one fastball in. Tries to get him chased away, and then 3-0. I love the confidence, Jason. I love the confidence, but against a guy with an upshoot like that, unless you feel like you can really pull the ball in that situation, it's tough.
It's just a little bit up compared to what you'd want, as there's a strike called, and we have a challenge by Torres. It was dropped by Jeffers. The Tigers will either get ball one or be out of challenges, and it is a strike. That's a big challenge.
Detroit is out of challenges.
Go from 3-0 with 2 on and 1 out to suddenly 2 out, 0-1, and no challenges left. That's outside. It's a ball and a strike.
You know Glaber's going to make him get in the zone because he's spraying a little bit right now.
Baez at second, Torkelson at first. One and two. Challenge.
I don't think you got him on that.
I think it was away. Yeah.
To call a ball.
It's very close, evidently. We're going to see.
No.
Oh, just got the corner. Strike 3. Jeffers ends another inning with a challenge. He got 2 of them on strikeouts in the 8th inning. He's going to have enough watches to start his own jewelry store from his pitchers this year. Yikes. On Detroit Sportsnet is brought to you by Figer Law. All we do is win. Comerica Bank, trusted banking for 175 years. And by your local Toyota dealer. For all Toyota offers, visit Toyota.com. The shimmering beacon of light of Target Field downtown across from the home of the Timberwolves. As Will Vest enters the game, he was one of the Tigers that's been under the weather the past few days, and he is in the game as our Wolfside Windows pitching change here in the 8th. Last we saw Will was Saturday with 19 pitches against St. Louis.
Good to see that electric fastball out there on the mound at any time. Bill can bring the heat. He's done a nice job too. His slider is much improved over the last couple of years, and he'll throw the changeup to lefties.
Just missed on a slider. Tigers are out of challenges, just in case you want to challenge at home. Cartoon box is on the case. 1 and 2. That's down. You see the team logos, by the way. You see the one light for Minnesota. That's a challenge. 2 lights are out for the Tigers. Minnesota has 1 remaining. Tigers have none. Chopper to shortstop. On the charge by Baez. Fluid motion for out number 1. Our upcoming schedule for the Tigers presented by Bet365. 1 more tomorrow. 1:30 Eastern time against Minnesota. Then the Marlins are in town for night, day. Off day on Monday, 3 against Kansas City, and then off to lovely Fenway Park, where we closed last year, to take on the Red Sox. 1 down for Jeffers, who looks at a strike. A lot of road games to start this year for the Tigers. 10 out of the first 13.
I was just thinking the same thing. It'd be nice to get a nice homestand in. See if they can pick up a win tonight, come back. Win tomorrow. Homestand.
And Marlins team won tonight against Cincinnati. Miami is 7-5 in a crowded top half of the National League East. Mets did lose today 7-2. Atlanta a winner 8-2 to go to 8-5. Check swing. Did he? Nah. Adrian Johnson, who will have the plate tomorrow, waves it off. That is the version of Will Vest I think Tigers fans love. Just here's a fastball. Do what you will with it.
Yeah, that's Will Vest at his best. He just rears back, throws that four-seam by guys. There it is again.
That was easy. 2 down.
No messing around. Friday nights just got even better at Comerica Park. Join us for Friday Night Party in the Park presented by Casamigos. Enjoy pregame food and drink specials, live music, postgame fireworks, and more. Don't miss the fun. Visit tigers.com/party to learn more.
This Friday will be, it looks like, our old friend Chris Paddock on the mound for the Marlins. First pitch, ball 1 to Caratini. Tigers in the 9th. Tonight we'll have Jones, Green, and Dingler coming up.
The Marlins, they got a good rookie. That Owen Casey guy's off to a good start.
Yeah.
He's a pretty explosive player.
Some young talent there, and if Sandy Alcantara is going to throw like he did yesterday, if he's going to be the old version of Sandy after a scuffle at points last year, Eury Perez got the win today. They could be sneaky interesting in the National League East.
Yeah, they got
Marlins.
some speed too. Xavier Edwards, he can steal some bags. Fun little player to watch.
Dane Myers as well. 2-1. That's ball 3.
This is where you know a hitter like Caratini is going to be rearing up for fastball and wanting to launch. 3-1. You're up 2 runs. Nobody on. Power versus power.
Rippled to second base. Z-Mac has had a nice night there, and that is a 1-2-3 inning for Will Vest to give it right back to the boys for one chance. Tomorrow's headlines today. Slow down the bats. Jack, you see the opponent's average bat speed have been fast so far against Jack Flaherty. And then our second headline, just across the wire, cut me, Mick. Mick Abel, 14 hits, 9 earned runs allowed for the second-year major leaguer, former first-round pick of the Phillies back in 2020 out of the Portland area. Came over from Philadelphia at the deadline last year in that deal for Joan Duran. First pitch here in inning number 9 is popped up by Jahmai Jones, and the right fielder Wallner sneaks in there to make the catch for out number 1.
See if he sticks with Larson or goes to Funderburk, who's been warming up in the bullpen.
I think we have our answer. Derek Shelton's coming out. He's going to go with the left-hander Funderburk. 8-6 Minnesota. 2 outs to play with for the Tigers in the 9th.
Of his outings, it'll be interesting to see if the Tigers try to make him work a little bit. Got a good sinker to lefties and a cutter. But Riley will probably see something with spin and sinkers in. Make him throw a strike. Get him in the zone. Tigers need a base runner.
In the worst way, that's a good strike. Left on left, right to the outside third, 0-1. Can't really defend against that. 0-1 check swing and a ball high, 1-1 on Riley Green. Dingler next. Meadows to follow. 1 on the bench, Jake Rogers. 2-1.
It's a good take. If you're going to make a run at it, you need a base runner.
That's a ball out. 3-1 for Riley Green. Base runners are paramount here.
It's been interesting. We've seen the Tigers get into advantage counts and haven't executed well so far in the last few games.
Call a strike,
Nice.
and he
Needs a
wanted to challenge, and he can't.
Can't, because there's no challenges left. All the little light up bars are gone by the Old English D in the bottom right corner.
Yeah, that's not a strike, but it is here. 3-2. Baseball Karma wins. 1 out, runner on the walk to Riley Green. So Dingler now is the tying run, as the Tigers have brought up the tying run a couple of times late in a game that was 7-0 Minnesota through 4.
Yeah, they've done a nice job later in the innings, putting the quality at bats together, hitting the ball all around the yard, taking some walks, and now they're going to have to come up with some big hits.
Slider to Dingler. Dillon has 3 hits tonight. Left side of the infield, center field, right field. Time call. Funderburk was ready quickly, and Dillon breaks up the timing. Dillon had the first 2 homers of the year for the Tigers. Can he get hitting coach Michael Berdar a late birthday gift? His birthday was yesterday. Tying run at the plate. Behind the cutter, 1-2.
He saw spin on that ball and thought it was going to be the loopier breaking ball. Stayed up on it. The guy's got a sweeper and a cutter and a slider. 3 different shapes and out of 1 slot. There's
That's
the loopier
one. Yep.
Trying to get a Let's Go Twins in here. All I hear is do it or skip. That's all I hear.
2-2. Oh, that ball took a run at him.
All right.
Hit by pitch for Dingler. 2 on, 1 out for the Tigers.
Why not? Funderburk's going to face a couple lefties coming up. Parker Meadows. Oh, nice job.
Back shoe.
Yeah. Back footed him. Right in the hill.
Tigers get a corner kick. Parker Meadows. Ball 1. Will the Tigers let Funderburk twist himself into knots here? Heavy sinker into the left-hander. Meadows, 1-1.
You just figure as a lefty at some point he's going to throw one of those breaking shapes out away from you. It's a good ball to serve into left center field.
Away with a fastball, 2-1.
After that first pitch, he threw a nice left on left sinker to the outside corner. He hasn't been able to find that side of the plate. Everything's away.
2-1. Parker right back to the mound. Funderburk spins it to second to get the out there. Kind of a chancy play, but a smart one. If you go to first, it's second and third, and a base hit ties it. So Funderburk is on target for out number 2. We've seen pitchers sail those.
Yeah, we have. He got in on the hands of Parker with the sinker, and you can see him right away. He's got time, turns, spins, fires. And if there's a guy to throw it to, the shortstop's usually pretty sure-handed. Brooks Lee does a nice job of not even thinking about 2, but just secure the baseball, get the out. And now he's got another lefty, Zach McKinstry.
He's named for Brooks Robinson over there. Brooks Lee is securing out number 2. So Z-Mac, 2 on, 2 out, 9th inning. 8-6 game. Ball 1 again. 2-0.
I mean, they're going to have to go to that sinker in. That's about the only pitch that he's thrown for a strike to lefties outside of the first pitch. Did twice to Parker. Turn and burn.
2-0. Yep, there it is.
That's the turn and burn one.
It is. It's the pull side,
yep.
Happy place. Two and one. No, sir. 3 balls and a strike.
Baez lurking on the on-deck circle. He's got a couple knocks.
He also has a walk-off slam against the Red Sox last year. 3-1. Ripped to second and flagged down by Keyshaw to finish the ball game. Zemax stung it, but Minnesota's Keyshaw runs it down, and the Tigers come that close to coming back in Minneapolis tonight. But the first 3 go to Minnesota.
It was a tough start to the ball game. They got down 6-0 in the first, Jason. They battled back, couldn't get the ball to fall at the end. But we talk about, you know, playing a complete game. AJ talks about it all the time, being consistent. C-Mac gave it a ride, but there was a Keyshaw there.
He thought he had at least a run in what could have been a trip to the corner. Instead, Minnesota wins again. The Tigers lose their 3rd in a row to Minnesota and 4th overall in a row. Curado postgame follows this timeout from Minneapolis with Andy and Daniela.